Good morning, everyone. It is another marketing chit chat with Laura Garino, myself, and I think Brandon is coming just a little bit late today. So today we are talking about social media platforms and who's on what, right? Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. So this, we've got a data sheet for you to look over. And I'll talk through a little bit with you some of the points but this is like the newest information, right, that is available today for who's on what platform, demographics wise. So it's a lot to look at. So let me talk through it a little bit, but let me share my screen and let's talk through it a little bit. But I know it's kind of a lot to look at, so hopefully it works. Okay, so these are in order of the number of active users. So Facebook, number 1, YouTube, WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, WeChat, and TikTok. These are the 7 most popular social media channels today. So a couple of things I thought was interesting, and it changed, it has changed over time. Last time I looked at this was a while back. So interestingly, most users now on Facebook are from 12 years old to 34 years old. Most are men. India is the largest. And then an average American user spends 38 minutes a day. So YouTube, I probably spend the most. I am a YouTuber, so I'm not a YouTuber where I'm on YouTube. I like to learn things on YouTube and use YouTube for learning. So this is the second most usual. This is on target, same. This is the same for many years as far as number 1 and number 2. Again, more male. 74% of adults in the U.S. use YouTube. What I thought was really interesting was the number of minutes. So daily, the number of minutes is 42 minutes for viewers 18 and up. That's a lot of time per day. That's daily. Another big one like that was all the way over here to the right on TikTok, if you're with me, all the way over to the right on TikTok. Users spend an average of 52 minutes a day, which is also a lot. These are video related, so keep that in mind for content generation, right? Video matters. It is a big deal. You can reach people this way. So another interesting one, I told you, mostly male on Facebook, mostly male on YouTube, but a lot of females too, right? WhatsApp. If you don't know what WhatsApp is, it's just a chat platform, right? India is the biggest market. It's one of the easiest ways to message back and forth to people all over the globe. You can also use Facebook Messenger for that too, but WhatsApp is not, it's a little different. So I want to see, let me check to see if Brandon is online yet. Yes, let me get him in here. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. That's okay. Nice to see you. So we're talking about, do you see this? I know it's a bunch to look at.
Yeah, I love stuff like this. This is great.
So Danielle put this together for us.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's in order 1 through 7, the most popular. And I started talking through a few of the points that I thought were interesting, right? Especially like the number of minutes watched for average user on YouTube is 42 basically minutes, and on TikTok was 52 minutes. That's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
The average user on Facebook is 38 minutes a day, which is also a lot of time. And then we've got next after WhatsApp is Messenger, which is part of Facebook. Most popular Messenger app in the US. There are 1.3 billion users, mostly female. So interesting that this is Facebook also, but females are more using the Messenger app than males, but on Facebook regular, right? The social
Hmm.
platform, 57% of men, more men than. And then we've got Instagram, still over a billion users. India, again, most popular, a little higher on the women than men. This is a good piece between most popular. This Instagram is the most popular app, social media app between ages 25 to 34.
Mm.
So if you want to hit them, this is where they are.
Oh yeah.
If you want to reach them, yeah. 71% are under the age of 35, and
Mm.
they spend about 30 minutes a day on there. A lot of businesses use Instagram because they are trying to reach. That is a highly, desirable market to reach. They're just, they've got some expendable income by the time they reach 25 and 34,
Hmm.
and they might not have babies yet, right? So they're spending their money or saving their money. But next is WeChat, another one of the chat applications. Brandon, do you use WeChat for anything?
I don't.
I
No,
don't.
I've sporadically used it over the years if somebody else needed
Yeah,
it for some reason, but
yeah.
otherwise, no.
Yeah, but it is the most popular platform in China. So that is important to know if that is an area that you need to reach for your marketing efforts.
Hmm.
And then TikTok, kind of the fun one of the group today, right? Has a billion active users. Again, 52 minutes a day. The audience, TikTok users, 60% of them are Gen Zers. And I had to remind myself, who are Gen Zers, right? Apparently, it's from 6 years old to up to 25, 24, 25 years old, right
Hmm.
in there. So they bump up against the next generation. But
Yeah, I can confirm that because our kids are 13 and 15, and that's
yeah,
their number one platform, TikTok.
yep,
And that time on there is probably accurate. That's crazy though. It looks like almost an hour a day, right? And if you look at the rest of these, that's not nearly that many. I mean, WeChat maybe because it's a chat
yeah.
app for a lot of people, et cetera.
That's
But
different. Yeah, they're
yeah.
using that to chat. So the ones I'm really looking at today for the business side of things, the B2B side,
Hmm.
is Facebook, YouTube, Messenger only because of the way that you can reach people, right? Through the
Hmm.
social app, because I'm counting it as part of Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram, and TikTok. Those are the ones that I'm really focused on for you, right? For and
Hmm.
me to do marketing for our people. So yeah, going back to TikTok, I agree with you. It is the even kids, if they're allowed, right? But through their parents, right? They're making these. It's fun. It's just for fun. So, what would you, if you were going to market using TikTok, how would you do this, right? So, it can't be all business, right? Because these are just kids and young adults mostly, right? Some people in their 30s. It says 80% are between the ages of 16 and 34. There are adults. I have a girlfriend she's 34 years old and she loves TikTok, but she uses it with her kids
Mm.
and they have fun together with each other using TikTok for fun.
Yeah, I mean it's more of a form of entertainment.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's why those younger people go on there. They're looking for those viral videos, stuff that's funny, um, which I would say is probably the majority of stuff that goes viral is hilarious or it's shocking, or a lot of people get tons of views with these how to's types of videos.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Yep.
people on there that do um, you know, how to slice a watermelon or whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
if you can do something creative, then you have the potential to go viral there with that massive audience of younger people.
Yeah,
So
and that's
yeah.
a key word, creative. So I see a lot of creative people that's the purpose for them to be on TikTok, to share their creativity or to share their comedy or to share something that's fun, their music, their artwork, their how to. So that it has taken a bunch of how to's, but it's a short how to as opposed to a YouTube, which might be a longer how to video.
Yeah, I would say that similar to YouTube, I mean, the most serious TikTokers really choreograph that stuff. That's the word I would use, right? It's not an off the cuff, like, hey, I'm just going to go live and, riff off of something. There's a bunch of that, obviously, but the really super creative stuff, it's like, planned out, scripted out, and a lot of production goes into, good TikToks.
Yep.
So, because the ones that I love are like, somebody jumps up and then they land and they have a different outfit on or whatever. Well, you obviously got to plan that ahead, and you probably have to have somebody shooting it or helping you with it, potentially lighting, sound, the whole thing. Production quality is super important. Even though a lot of them come across as like homemade, they could take hours and hours to do. And, even and companies know this. And some of the best ones I've seen, one of my favorites is the Washington Post. I think their TikTok is like, we are a newspaper or something like that. They just do these hilarious TikToks multiple times a day, and get tons of views. So,
and and sharing from there too. I've seen so many of them on Pinterest.
Yes.
And I've seen them on Tumblr, and I've seen them through Facebook as well. But
yeah, it's so funny. When I looked at this chart, the first thing I thought was the big glaring omission, or the one that doesn't make this top 7. Which one do you think I'm thinking of?
Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, for years and years, Twitter was in the top grouping. So I'm sure they're not far behind.
Yeah.
But if you took out the messenger apps, then they would bump up in there as well. But yeah, and that's the other thing I caution people against. Don't just go with all of these because they're the big numbers. You also have to look at what are they used for. And if you're going to look at them for either creating content, that's one thing, or possibly advertising, that's another. So then, yeah, you would want to look at if your audience are they on Twitter? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Pinterest? Because Pinterest probably aligns with the numbers we saw where it's more skewed towards women, very visual, very visual, but ads on Pinterest are really great,
I think so too. They're great for traffic.
Yeah,
I have seen like the conversion piece. If you're in e-commerce and you're just, I want to sell something, it has to be done really well. It's not a perfect situation, but it is perfect for traffic. Because it's just, people are looking for, especially if you have something visual, very visual to sell, if you're interior design or furniture or vacations, right? Like it could be anything, fashion, a lot of those things. So all the things that most women love, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, well, we don't have a lot of time. We have a couple minutes left, but I wanted to ask you, I used to not like Facebook for B2B and very highly professional, long sale kind of things. I used to not like, I'm like, you don't need to advertise on Facebook. I still feel the same way with certain things, but it has crept like into my world a little more. I'm like, well, we could use it to do this particular kind of campaign or this particular kind of thing. And it does work sometimes, right? But I used to poo-poo it. Because I'm like, people are not on Facebook they don't want to think about work while they're on Facebook. But
that's true. Yeah, but what I've looked at for years is that Facebook aggregated the audience. When it's 70% of many countries are on Facebook, right? So pretty much the B2B crowd is on there as well. And they're going there after hours typically to relax and unwind and catch up and see what's going on, right? It's like it's a platform for that purpose. But because of the killer targeting to all those people, you can drop ads in front of them when they're surfing, and even if it's work related, they can ignore it if they want, but those repetitions definitely help. And so I've seen B2B companies hitting me up with ads, and over time, I'm like, yeah, man, I remember them now because I've seen this ad 12 times, well,
Yeah.
and eventually I might need it, but it works, and it's effective and cost efficient as well.
Yeah, I see it for a brand awareness and a not necessarily selling, but for a brand awareness contributor,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
Right.
If you had to reach people that were over 40, where would you go?
Facebook,
You would
Instagram.
go.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram too?
Probably, yeah, yeah. I mean, my litmus test is whenever I go to like the last time I went to a big theme park, you look around and people are scrolling and they're looking at Instagram for the most
Oh,
part,
yeah.
right? Like every
Yeah.
age group. So, because it's easier to even scroll through on the mobile and just kind of quickly, like even opposed to the Facebook newsfeed. So, it's eye candy. It's addictive, obviously, and so, and I think that hits that older demographic pretty well. I think um, folks of that age and grandparents, they're definitely more on Instagram than they're going to be on TikTok, right? That's not the platform for them. So, and they're probably not going
Right.
to be on Twitter, either, but they'll more likely be on Facebook and probably Instagram because they want to keep up with their friends, their kids, their grandkids, you name it.
Yeah. For some of the grandmas are definitely like, I only use Facebook so I can see all my grandkids' pictures from all their
Right.
things like
Yeah.
that.
And then you got people that just hate Facebook in general. So they won't do
Yeah,
Facebook, but they'll do Instagram, maybe not even realizing that it's the same company,
I know.
right?
Yeah, there was that whole thing last year where politically, right, there
Yeah.
was a move to like leave Facebook. If you are with me on, not me, but
Yeah.
if you're in one particular political group, they're like, get off Facebook, don't use them, don't support them, blah, blah, blah. And I did actually have a client who asked me to take him off Facebook. And I
Mm,
said, you could go off Facebook for your personal life, but I'm not going to, I'm not getting rid of your business page from there. If you
yeah.
really want to, we can talk about it, but I don't recommend it. And so he left it up, but he does not participate at all in that specifically for that reason.
Sure.
So, what else? If you had to, what about people that are not on social media? What about people that
Oh my
hate social
God.
media? What do you do? What are you doing?
Well, there's always billboards, and I just I mean, I just tell people, hey, good, get ready to get your checkbook out and write bigger checks because now you're going to have to go buy television ads potentially. You might look at radio spots. They could be more cost effective, but you're going to have to go back to old school media, buying print ads, buying billboards. And, I've long told people, hey, I can go take a billboard out on the highway and it's going to cost like $15,000 a month. And I'll have no idea to tell you how many people have seen it or taken action, and you're relying on the billboard company to tell you in aggregate how many vehicles passed by this point, so theoretically how many people might have even seen it, right? But unless you have some URL or something they can look at in 8 seconds or less and remember it and go to it later, you just don't really have any tracking data.
Yeah.
So you're just going to waste a lot. You're going to spend a lot more money because these other platforms that we were looking at, all the digital stuff, much cheaper, easier to get on, faster to deploy, better to get results, return on investment, or at least statistics and metrics, et cetera. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the potential. I have clients that use billboards, and the way that they track is truly like when they call in to when it's a lead that calls in, they just have to ask them how they heard of them, and they do say, "I put it on a billboard."
Yeah.
And then I also like the non-traditional TV, right? Streaming, the
Mm-hmm.
live streaming. I think
Yes.
that is really going to be something soon.
Yeah. The over the top. Maybe we could talk about that another time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We will see you next week, Wednesday, 11 a.m. For another marketing chit chat. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
See ya.